It's time now for a look at the latest business news, and we're starting with Indian conglomerate Adani Group fighting back this Monday after a report released last week accused it of financial wrongdoing. Our business editor Charles Pellegrin is here on set with more. Hi, Charles.
Hi, Erin. Absolutely. The report issued by a short seller Hindenburg Research in the U.S. led to the conglomerate losing under 60 billion euros in valuation last week. In a bid to reassure investors, the group founded by billionaire Gautam Adani issued its own 54-page report this Monday. Before the sell-off, Adani was the world's third richest person. Oh, this happening as the group is in the middle of a 2.2 billion euro share sale. Adani saying the Hindenburg research was not, quote, merely an unwarranted attack on any specific company, but a calculated attack on India, the independence, integrity, and quality of Indian institutions. The short seller's two-year investigation alleges Adani Group engaged in brazen stock manipulation and accounting fraud. The conglomerate is involved in a wide range of activities, from oil and gas to airports by way of mining and media. Well, as mentioned earlier, the Hindenburg Research report led to a stark drop in share price last week for one of the flagship stocks for the group, Adani Enterprises, as you can see here. This is when the report from Hindenburg Research was released, and it dropped quite starkly. The rebuttal this Monday has led to a slight rise in the price of that share, as you can see, just rebounding a tiny bit there, up over 2.8% currently. Still, investors buying the stock below the 3,100 rupee set offer price, which is just under 35 euros. Important to note, though, that most of the other listed Adani stocks have continued their sell-off. Moving on now to the rocky Renault-Nissan Alliance. The French and Japanese car makers have found an agreement. Renault will slash its stake in Nissan from 43% down to 15%, the same size as Nissan's stake in Renault. The Japanese group also saying it will be a strategic shareholder in Renault's future electric unit called Ampere. The deal is still being finalized and needs to be approved by the boards of both groups. Let's take a look at how the markets are doing this hour. Now, mixed trading in Asia as most indices are closed. In Asia here, as you can see, the Shanghai Composite is higher, 0.14%, reopening higher after a week-long holiday for Spring Festival. Mainland stocks in general have gained close to 20% compared to lows reached in October, buoyed by the dismantling of the country's zero-COVID policy. And stocks in Europe have opened lower this Monday as investors focus on the next U.S. Federal Reserve meeting that begins Tuesday and what that could mean for interest rates going forward. As you can see, the Paris CAC down almost 0.5%, the FTSE in London down 1/3%, and DAX in Frankfurt around the same. Some more company news now. Low-cost airline Ryanair is back into profit for the final 3 months of 2022. Travelers flocking back to the budget airline in Europe at a time of a cost of living crisis, a 7% increase in traffic compared to late 2019, just before the pandemic. After tax, Ryanair's profits totaled 211 million euros compared to a previous loss of 96 million. Let's end in West Australia, where mining giant Rio Tinto has apologised for losing a radioactive capsule along a 1,400-kilometre stretch of road between Newman in the north of the state and Perth, the state's largest city, in the south. The needle in a haystack search is underway and the stakes are high. Anyone within 5 meters of the tiny capsule could be exposed to extremely high levels of radioactivity. Rio Tinto's public image takes a second blow following its destruction of an Aboriginal site in the state 2 years ago. Liza Kamenov has this.
Rio Tinto's official apology came at the wrong time as the search continues for the highly radioactive capsule lost in transit by the mining giant on a 1,400-kilometre-long desert highway in Western Australia. The 6 by 8 millimetre radioactive source was part of a gauge used to measure radioactivity and contains cesium-137, emitting radiation equivalent to 10 X-rays. The company's chief executive issued a statement to AFP.
We recognize this is clearly very concerning and are sorry for the alarm it has caused in the Western Australian community.
Search crews are racing against time to locate the capsule and warn the public before it falls into the hands of an unlucky individual.
Our concern is that somebody will pick it up, not knowing what it is, think, oh, this is something interesting, and, keep it, put it in their room, keep it in the car, give it to somebody else, not knowing what they are actually dealing with. So our concern is to really bring it to the public's attention.
This is not the first time that Rio Tinto has fractured its reputation. In 2020, it faced backlash for blasting 46,000-year-old Aboriginal rock shelters at Juukan Gorge in Western Australia during the expansion of an iron ore mine. The destruction sparked major outcry, prompting the chief executive's resignation. The company has also been at the centre of sexual harassment, bullying and racism reports at its mine sites.
Lots of questions being asked, Erin, about how they managed to lose such a dangerous piece of equipment on that stretch of road.
Terrifying consequences. Charles Pellegrin, thank you very much.